Guys, how are we all doing? Guys, it's real talk time. I'm feeling a little inspired, feeling a little spicy, and just figured like we jump into some real talk. How the hell did we get here? How the hell did we get to a point in time with dogs that we actually accepted to a large degree, the majority of the marketplace accepted that there's a methodology that eschews universal teaching of how we all learn, and that it's going to work for you and your dog to make things harmonious and get rid of problem behaviors and make your dog awesome. It's this fantasy land, this freaking fantasy land that's been peddled to everybody. And just today it hit me like a lightning bolt. I was doing some work and it was like, I was like, are we crazy? I mean, like, I don't mean to be like hysterical and like dramatic, but like, are we freaking crazy? How have we bought into something that's been so universal that all of us organisms, that all of us learn by, all of us human beings, like forget like stretching it out into the vast universe of other organisms and creatures, let's just look at us. Like, that's exactly, that's the totality of how we learn. Like, this equals this, right? Consequences connected to actions teach us about how to move through the world, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. Comfort, discomfort, like, how did we like game the system and decide like we don't need discomfort anymore? We found a cooler, more like hip, scientific, like modern way that's managed to get around all that discomfort, all that unfortunate stuff. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, if that was the case, wouldn't we have done it for humans too? Like, it's the both sides of the coin. It's how we learn, guys. We learn by like, this works, this doesn't work. How do we find out if it works? This works because it's comfortable and makes sense and blah, 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 it feels good, great. This doesn't work because it feels uncomfortable, doesn't work, doesn't feel good, right? It's so goddamn simple that I'm having a hard time, like, it's just one of those moments of clarity where you look at the industry that you happen to be in and you go, how did we get here? How did a bunch of sane, normal, regular folks, dog owning peeps, get into a space where they would buy a bill of goods that said all you have to do is reward your dog for what you want and ignore what you don't, and things are going to be aces? How did we ever buy into something that's so completely foreign to how we ourselves are? Yes, we're different species, but all of us learn the same way. Yes, we learn. I mean, if you're going to get complicated about like different, like obviously we're more complex and we have different things that we can learn, but the basic fundamentals of like moving through life, like, oh, touch a hot stove, that hurts, don't do that anymore. Oh, like, if you're a dog and you like run into like a brick wall, okay, or sliding glass door, ow, that hurts, I won't do that again. Okay, great. Information, sliding glass doors, don't run into them, they hurt. Okay, that makes sense. Now I've gathered data and I'm gonna make some smart choices down the line about sliding glass doors. Guys, I don't know what to do to be able to to be able to more clearly get this like ridiculously fundamental universal concept across. I feel like we're trapped in like the world is flat kind of like mentality, and everybody's like, yeah, it's flat, and like, but yet we've got all this information telling us otherwise, but yet we're still like, no, we're holding on to this. I don't know where I'm going with the flat thing, but you get where I'm headed, right? The point is, guys, I worked with a lot of dogs. I've trained a lot of dogs that have been like goofy knuckleheads, dogs that have been more serious, on the on the across the spectrum of like behavioral stuff to dogs that are incredibly serious, and the same thing applies across the board to all of them. I like this, I don't like this. How you share that obviously has to be custom fitted for each dog, but I'm telling you, if comfort, discomfort isn't built into that model, you're toast. Your dog's toast and you're toast, right? Now, there's gonna be people that are gonna get on here and say like, but I taught my dog with all positive training and da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. There will be a certain percentage of dogs that will have such a mild disposition that you can show them all the stuff and can show them all the stuff that you want, and that's cool. I'm sorry, I'm getting like stuff flying up on my screen here. And that will be cool to a large degree because they're so mild, they don't really have any problem behaviors. Like Belle's a great example. She didn't really need any stuff. She didn't do anything. She didn't have any dog issues. She never counter surfed. She never jumped on anybody. She never had anything that had to make uncomfortable, right? Do you get that? Now, if Belle would have jumped on people, if Belle would have run away from me when I needed her to come to me, if Belle would have pulled on leash, if Belle would have done anything like that, then I would have needed to have shared consequences that were connected to those behaviors to make those behaviors go away. I couldn't have just rewarded them to make them better. Like that whole BS thing, just reward, reinforce, and you'll just make them better. You don't make the stuff go away, right? Reinforcement is awesome for reinforcement. Reinforcement is terrible for getting rid of stuff. Like, can we keep this simple, guys? Can we take it out of the realm of like highfalutin BS, like monkey business science stuff that people like to throw around, cherry pick and find like little studies that like back up what they're like? You don't even need any of that. All you need is a clear head. All you need to do is look around at you and your family and human beings and how we've learned, and then look at dogs and then see very clearly, very simply, like, how do they learn? Well, what teaches them best? How do we get them to stop doing things? Okay, great. So my dog's reactive on leash, and I've been giving my dog like food and trying to redirect my dog on leash, but my dog keeps doing it. Okay, that's obviously not working. You're not creating a consequence connected to that behavior that makes it uncomfortable to do. Just keep it simple. Comfort, discomfort, right? And that comfort and discomfort can be like teeny tiny, or it can be big depending on the issue, the level of the issue. So a lot of people don't want to talk about this. A lot of people, this is, oh, it's dark ages. There's no need to train with pain. If there's no need to train with pain, and I'm not saying like, go out and make dogs painful, but I'm saying then it should apply to us too. We should be able to go through this life like scot-free. Everything should be comfy. If you get pulled over for a parking ticket, they should hand you a flower and say like, I'd really like you to drive better. And when you do drive better, I'm gonna stop you and give you another flower and see if I can reinforce this really good driving habit. The reason that society is held together, the reason that we behave ourselves as human beings, is because of the possibility of consequences attached to our behavior. It's not because we're all angels, not because we're great, not because we're perfect, not because our higher consciousness or character. It's because there are consequences attached to behavior and we know about them. And so that guides our behavior. Some of us have an easier time with that and we do a better job. Some of us push against those consequences more and need more guidance back in, just like dogs. So anyways, guys, I just want to take this, like, I know this one's a little bit of a ranty, like a little bit all over the place. And there'll be plenty of people that will disagree with this and have a hard time. But I'm just telling you guys, if you're going to try to train your dog to not do something that it wants to do, that has any intensity behind it, pulling on the leash, jumping on people, barking at strangers, growling at people, resource guarding, dog aggression, human aggression, and you're gonna try and do any of that stuff with just reinforcing without making those behaviors uncomfortable, you're gonna lose. Your dog's gonna lose and you're gonna lose. And that's the hard truth. Sorry guys, like, you want to live in a land or in a place or in a world or a universe where discomfort doesn't have to be the motivator that inhibits that stuff, you go find that universe and you let me know when you find it. It doesn't exist, at least not where we're at. So that's the bottom line, guys. That's the truth. You know, like, I know trainers will do their best to, like, on both sides of the fence, try and, like, you know, market and push things to where things feel good for owners. I want owners to feel good too, but I want them to feel good with results. I want them to feel good with a dog they can live with. I want them to feel good with a dog that doesn't jump or pull or make their lives miserable or any of that stuff. And if those owners that we work with, well, we wouldn't work with them. If those owners that we work with had an issue with the concept of that you have to make shitty choices uncomfortable, we wouldn't work with them. Because that means they're not connected to reality, and we don't work with clients that aren't connected to reality. You cannot make a negative behavior that has self-rewarding, enjoyable properties to it, you cannot make it go away just by rewarding it or ignoring it. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna suffer and your dog's gonna suffer. Let's stop making this so goddamn complicated. Let's make this all really simple. Let's make good choices comfortable. Let's make bad choices uncomfortable. Let's own it. Let's own the reality. Let's own the reality of how we operate. Let's own the reality of how dogs operate. Let's own the reality of how all creatures operate. It's so damn simple. I hope it makes sense, guys. I hope this rant isn't too ranty that it's like throwing you off. Sorry if there's any strong, salty language. I don't mean it to be, but I'm just like, it's one of those moments where it just hits you like a lightning bolt, and it's hard. Sorry, I've got so many messages coming through while I'm trying to video. It's just hard to wrap my head around the fact that smart people like us damn human beings can be taken in by something so ridiculous, buy into it 100% because of our emotions of what we want, how we want to believe, not even about reality or results, just how we want it to be. That's where it's at. I want to be able to train my dog like this. Forget about results, forget about that we're struggling, forget about that things are a mess. I want to train my dog like this. Cool, have at it. But just realize that by not sharing everything your dog needs, comfort and discomfort, clarity, yes and no, you're setting your dog up to fail and you're setting yourself up to fail. It's simple, it's easy. Don't make this stuff complicated. How you do it, how you apply it, that's the art form, that's the beauty, that's the training, that's where the nuance comes in. This is a bigger concept, this isn't a one size fits all. But if you don't get this concept, you will struggle and struggle and struggle. And that's why dogs that leave here don't struggle, because we understand this concept and we share it, both sides of the coin. Dogs come out with clarity, they know what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do, and they make good choices appropriately, or they make appropriate choices goodly, whatever the hell I'm saying. Anyways, I've got a client session right now. Got to get out of here or I'm going to get yelled at. I hope this makes sense. Guys, keep it simple, keep it clear, all right? Talk to you later. Bye.